प्रार्थना करो, पढ़ाई नहीं किया। हरे कृष्णा। We will start Bhagavad Gita class. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो पंकजनाभाय नमो पंकजमालिने नमो पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यम् ईश्वरम्। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। We welcome all of you to our Bhagavad Gita class, which is the second class in the series of the 18 chapters that we will be trying to cover over the next few sessions. So last time we discussed the basic introduction of the Bhagavad Gita. Today we will start with the first shloka, the first verse. And then we will see how the discussion goes. And I will also ask for questions in between. So the first chapter of the Gita is known as Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukṣetra. Now Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters, 700 shlokas. If you see, most Christians and Muslims, they know their scriptures very well. And for Indians, for those who follow the Sanatana Dharma or the Hindu Dharma, Bhagavad Gita is their sacred book. So we also need to know the Bhagavad Gita very well so that we understand its relevance culturally also. Of course, Bhagavad Gita has importance even in our inner life, even in our inner spiritual life. So these 18 chapters are very beautifully presented by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. And we will begin systematically. and we will try to understand the relevance of some of the important verses of the Gita. And thus we will tap into the wisdom that the Gita provides. For the first chapter, the first shloka of the Gita we will take now. Dhṛtarāṣṭra uvāca dharma-kṣetre kuru-kṣetre samavetā yuyutsavaḥ māmakāḥ pāṇḍavāś caiva akurvata Sañjaya. Who will read the translations today? Who would like to read? I can see.
Yeah,
Manish, would like to read? Okay, Mohit Prabhu, आप ही पढ़ो.
I can read for you. Yes, Prabhuji, I will read.
Bhagavad Gita is widely read theistic science.
Nahin, translation.
Dhṛtarāṣṭra said, O Sañjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pāṇḍu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukṣetra, desiring to fight, what did they do?
So this is a landmark verse of the Gita, the first verse, where Krishna is not in the picture, Arjuna is not in the picture, and Dhṛtarāṣṭra is speaking. This is the first and the only shloka in the Gita where Dhṛtarāṣṭra is speaking. So all of you know the background of the Gita. Dhṛtarāṣṭra was the father of the Kauravas, led by Duryodhana, and his sons were fighting against the Pāṇḍavāś, who were led by Yudhishthira. And Dhṛtarāṣṭra always claimed that his sons and Pāṇḍavāś were same for him. So he shouldn't have said that what is happening between my sons and Pāṇḍavāś. So by saying that Duryodhana and his brothers were his sons, he is exposing his duplicitous nature. Because he always claimed that Pāṇḍavāś were same for him. But here in this verse he is saying, māmakāḥ. Māmakāḥ means my children, my sons. Māmakāḥ Pāṇḍavāś caiva. What is happening between my sons and the Pāṇḍavāś? Suddenly he has created duality. He has created two. Till now he was saying one. We are all one. Right? But now suddenly he got exposed. So this is a very powerful shloka of the Gita, where we learn the lesson that our duplicitous nature will eventually get exposed. So here you see the beautiful verse, how it begins. What is the first word of the verse? Dharma-kṣetre, kuru-kṣetre. Dharma-kṣetre means the place of dharma, place of religion, place of spirituality. Kurukṣetra is a place of spirituality. So Dhṛtarāṣṭra is saying, in this amazing, beautiful place, dharma-kṣetre, kuru-kṣetre, all the Kurus are assembled, samavetā yuyutsavaḥ. What is happening between my sons and Pāṇḍavāś? O Sañjaya, tell me what are they doing? This is the translation of the first verse. So apparently this is an ordinary verse, there is nothing to discuss here. But if you closely examine, this shloka reveals profound lessons on human psychology. Very, very deep lessons. And just an ordinary shloka where Dhṛtarāṣṭra is simply saying, what is happening between my sons and Pāṇḍavāś, what are they doing in the battlefield? By asking such an ordinary question, lot of wisdom is revealed. And what is the first lesson we learn? Dharma-kṣetre, place of spirituality. In Kurukṣetra, any other holy place, Vrindavan, Dwarka, wherever you go, it is dharma-kṣetra. Dharma-kṣetra means a place where spirituality or religion or truth will prevail. That means that place will have potency, the place will have energy. Many of us have experienced, we go to Vrindavan, we feel different, we get different experience when we go to Vrindavan, right? Some devotees when they go to Jagannath Puri, I know somebody who hates crowd. He just can't stand crowd. He's claustrophobic. But when he goes to Jagannath Puri, in that crowd of 10 lakh people, he is ecstatic. There is different energy in a holy place. All of you have experienced this, right? Some people are very much influenced by Mayapur Dham, some Jagannath Puri, some by Vrindavan, and some very much influenced by plate of prasadam. Everywhere, somehow spirituality is influencing us in some way. So, Dhṛtarāṣṭra knows very well that Kurukṣetra is a holy place. And in holy place, truth will have more energy. Dharma will have more power. So he is worried. Oh, my sons are going to fight a war with Pandavas. And Dhṛtarāṣṭra knows deep within his heart that his sons are wrong. They are guilty and Pandavas are in the right party. So he knows that Pandavas will get more power in Kurukṣetra if the war is happening. So he is afraid deep within, but he cannot openly say that. So from his mouth, the first word that comes is, oh, my sons are fighting a war with Pandavas in dharma-kṣetre. So that means, so in other words, Dhṛtarāṣṭra is what he's trying to say is that, oh, in dharma-kṣetra, Kurukṣetra, they're fighting. That means my sons will get defeated because that place will influence those who are following dharma. When you see this, his fear is coming out. Or sometimes what happens in a holy place, those who are wicked-minded, their hearts get transformed also. This is also seen many times. Sometimes you have bad nature, evil thoughts, but you go to a holy place, your heart gets purified. That also happens. So Dhṛtarāṣṭra's second fear. First fear is what? Oh, the war is being fought in Kurukṣetra. So the Pandavas will become victorious because that holy place will bless them. Oh, but if that doesn't happen, then there is a second fear. What is that? The place is so powerful spiritually that my son Duryodhana may get influenced and he may give away the kingdom to Pandavas. That should not happen. Because Dhṛtarāṣṭra is actually the villain in the Mahabharata. But he presents himself as very innocent. He is actual Don. He is actual mafia. Very quietly he presents himself as very equal to everyone, very kind to Pandavas. But he always wanted to have his sons as the rulers of Srirampur. And now we know this fratricidal war is going to destroy his sons. And worst part is this war is being fought not in Mumbai. It's not being fought on the border. It's being fought in a holy place. Kurukṣetra was a holy place because many sages would go and do penance there. So it is guaranteed that Pandavas will get blessings or Duryodhana's heart may get transformed. And Dhṛtarāṣṭra does not want that to happen. That's why he's saying, dharma-kṣetre, Kurukṣetra, what is happening in that holy place? Why have they gone there? I mean, they have gone there. What are they doing there? I mean, this question is actually stupid in one sense. It is like saying, oh, our Mohit Prabhu and his family and Abhishek Prabhu and his family, we heard they went to a restaurant, Govindas, and they were sitting in the Govindas restaurant. And what did they do there? What did they do means what? They went to Govindas restaurant, they sat there. What did they do? They ate prasad. They ordered pizza or whatever. They had nice prasad. So similarly, saying these two warrior groups went to Astina, Kurukṣetra. What are they doing there? They're fighting. They're going to fight. So Dhṛtarāṣṭra's insecurity is coming out in this first verse. And his duplicitous nature is getting exposed. That is the essence of the first shloka. So Dhṛtarāṣṭra is saying, dharma-kṣetre, kuru-kṣetre, samavetā, yuyutsavaḥ, māmakāḥ, pāṇḍavāś, caiva, akurvata, Sañjaya, māmakāḥ, my sons and Pandavas. See, many times Dhṛtarāṣṭra in the past, he would say, oh, Yudhishthir, you are my son only. You are like my son. There is no difference between you and Duryodhana. Oh, Pandavas are so dear to me. Pandavas, I love Pandavas. This is what he claimed. But look what he's saying now. He's saying my sons are separate, Pandavas are separate. Means if we pretend to be what we are not, then one day we will get exposed. You see, like there is a story of Akbar Birbal, that one man came to Akbar's kingdom and claimed that he knows 100 languages. And he asked Akbar that you can challenge me, you can tell any of the ministers to talk to me in any language. I can answer. And after I answer perfectly, you have to now, after you test me in my talking, you should be able to guess what is my mother tongue. Somebody asked questions to him in English, he gave very good answer. Somebody asked in Persian, he gave fluently, he spoke Persian, Sanskrit, every language he spoke fluently. So Akbar said, how do we know what is your mother tongue? We cannot know. So Birbal, so they looked at Birbal now. Birbal, because the reputation of Akbar was at stake, that they could not defeat this man. So Birbal said, give me one day, tomorrow morning I will tell. So they said, okay. So Birbal got his very trusted man and told him to follow this man. So he quietly followed him, and when this man went to his house, to his residence, according to Birbal's instructions, Birbal's assistant took one bucket of cold water, and without this man knowing, he threw that bucket of water on this man. As soon as that water fell, immediately he shouted, "Shoot you!" He shouted. In Gujarati, he said, "What happened? Who is this?" What? So then immediately that man understood, oh, he's speaking Gujarat, not in Italian. And next day in the assembly, when the man was there, Birbal announced, this man may speak 100 languages fluently, but his mother tongue is Gujarati. He said, how did you guess? He said, last night I had sent my man to throw you a bucket of cold water. So then suddenly you were surprised, what came out of your mouth was your mother tongue. What is inside will come out eventually, especially during a provocative situation. So similarly, Dhṛtarāṣṭra was always saying, oh, Pandavas are so dear to me. Oh, Duryodhan, don't do this. Pandavas are also like your brothers. Oh, like that, you would always talk very lovingly of Pandavas. But now, in the first verse of Gita, he is exposed for all time to come that he is actually duplicitous. He actually has separated his sons from Pandavas, and he actually doesn't like the Pandavas. So when the provocative situation comes, our real nature comes in. Like, once we were going to Vrindavan, we were going in a bus to one place. All the brahmacharis were sleeping. It was tiring, very tiring, late night, we were driving back to Vrindavan. And suddenly the bus, in the middle of the nowhere, the driver put a brake and the bus shook. And all the brahmacharis were woken from their deep sleep and tiredness. And one brahmachari was so disturbed, suddenly he got up and he bursted out left, right, center. He started chastising, hurling abuses. And then suddenly he realized what happened. And then he kept quiet. And then he said sorry. So what happens during provocative situation? What is the real nature? It comes out. So therefore, Dhṛtarāṣṭra's first shloka of the Gita is teaching us that we should consciously cultivate spiritual thoughts and noble thoughts so that during provocative situations, those thoughts will come out. If we consciously choose the right kind of thoughts now, then when we are controlled by nature and we are unconscious, the proper things will come out of us. Like, this is a true story. One very nice devotee family, their son was not devotee, their son was once in a while coming to temple. So this Prabhuji and Mataji are devotees. So their son met with an accident, bike accident. They were admitted in the hospital. So I remember I called that Prabhuji and Mataji. I said, Prabhuji, I am coming to the hospital to see your son. He said, no, Prabhuji, aap ghar pe, aap mandir mein raho, mat aao. I was surprised. Generally, people are happy if somebody comes to visit them. Then another brahmachari, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, he called that family. He said, Prabhuji, tomorrow morning I am coming to see your son in the hospital. 2 दिन पहले accident was ना. So immediately that Prabhuji said, no, Prabhuji, no need. Be serious, but your prayers are enough. Don't have to come. So like that, I realized that many devotees who are calling, the parents were saying, no need to come. We were wondering what is happening, what is going on. Then finally, that Prabhuji revealed one day that Prabhuji, we didn't know our son He's always nice at home. But when he goes out of the house with his friends, he's there whole day with his friends. And 24 hours when he's with his friends, every one line he's speaking Gali. Dirty, dirty Mumbai expletives, foul language, all the swear words. So it has become part of his second nature. So now when he met with an accident, he's in kind of coma type of situation, semi-conscious. So anybody goes in, he starts giving Gali. And dirty, dirty abuses. And poor fellow is so semi-conscious that he is not even aware that he's speaking all this. So even when his mother and I go inside the ICU to meet him, he starts giving us also bad words. So Prabhuji, you're all Prabhuji from temple. If you come and if he starts speaking all this to you, we will be so embarrassed. So you don't come. So that time Radha Gopinath Prabhu said, see, this boy was thinking that he will speak all Gali and his parents will not know. Now the whole world will know. So what is inside cannot remain inside forever. It will become part of outside. So if our inside and outside is not same, then one day the inside will take revenge. The inside will become part of our outer nature. So if we are externally appearing to be a very nice person, very loving, kind, compassionate, then it is high time we start cultivating those qualities from inside also, so that when we are put in a provocative situation or a challenging situation, then we are not, that time we will not be nice if that is not what we are actually inside. But it is very important that we cultivate this quality from within also. Like once, we had this base in Borivali. We had made, I had made sweet rice. And I was also serving after that. So one boy I was serving after the class, he said, no problem, I don't eat, I am on diet. So I was surprised, and he loved sweet rice and he was not taking sweet. He said, no, I don't take. So he prevented himself as very sense controlled, not interested in sweet. So I said, okay. Then I kept the the remaining sweet rice in the refrigerator, and I went to sleep at night, 10 o'clock. In the night, 1:30, I got up to go to the washroom. And I heard some sound from the kitchen. And I saw this boy had opened the fridge and he was eating sweet rice. So the point I'm saying is, what is inside will take revenge. If it is not actually outside. Outside is different, inside is different. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita, first shloka, first chapter is teaching us that we have to work on our inner life. We all have, eyes. Some of you have glasses also, double protection, right? So that means we have to see. And what are we using these eyes for? We are using these eyes for seeing the outside world very nicely, very beautifully, very clearly we are seeing. But Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, first shloka is giving us the wisdom that you turn your eyeballs and put it inside. See within. Turn your eyeballs inside. Don't see outside. You're always, all the time seeing the outside world. Oh, the fault is there. He is doing wrong. That man is doing wrong. That political party is doing wrong. He is like that. He is like that. He is like this. But when we are pointing one finger outside, three fingers are going to us. So it is high time. Bhagavad Gita is teaching us, turn your eyesight within. Look at yourself. Some months ago, I was surprised to see our Honorable Prime Minister was in Bengal for election rally. And he spoke some Bengali poem in Bengali. Rabindranath Tagore quoted. People were impressed. Arey, Narendra Modi knows Bengali. But they knew, of course, all political stunt, election rally. So nobody said anything. Next day, the media went to interview Mamata Banerjee. Arey, this man, Narendra Modi, came to your state. He spoke Bengali. So she got angry. She said, oh, he all teleprompter is there. He's reading from the teleprompter Bengali. He's a show-off. Look at him, he's showing off. He's reading from teleprompter and he's showing off. But do I show off? I don't show off. He just spoke little bit Bengali and he's showing off. I know so many languages, but do I show off? I know Tamil, I know Assamese. She mentioned 12 languages. And then she said, I know Vietnamese also. I know Chinese language. I know 14 languages. But do I show off? So when I heard that, I was laughing like anything because she's saying I'm not showing off, and she's telling everyone how she knows so many languages. So we are always looking outside. It is time we turn our vision inside. Dhṛtarāṣṭra he couldn't realize that he is at fault. So because he always pretended to be nice, eventually he got exposed, right? In this verse, actually got exposed later also. After the war, all the sons of Dhṛtarāṣṭra were killed. So Dhṛtarāṣṭra started saying, oh, my Pāṇḍavāś, you are my sons now, you are so nice. Let me embrace you, let me embrace you. So he called Yudhishthira, everyone one by one. So when he called Bhima to embrace Bhima, now Dhṛtarāṣṭra had strength of 10,000 elephants, although he was blind. So when Bhima he called, Krishna told Bhima, wait. He didn't allow Bhima to go ahead. So there was a very iron statue of Bhima, which Duryodhana used to use for practicing his Gada fighting. So Krishna put that iron statue of Bhima in front of Dhṛtarāṣṭra. And Dhṛtarāṣṭra embraced that iron statue and said, oh Bhima, I love you, Bhima. And all that suppressed anger which was there inside him against Bhima, it came out, and with all intense anger, he crushed Bhima. He thought he's killing Bhima. And he crushed that entire iron statue, crushed to powder. And then he started crying, oh, what did I do? I killed my very, very dear son, Bhima. Oh, I killed Bhima. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Then Krishna said, no, you didn't kill. Bhima is here only. That was iron statue. And then he brought Bhima. Bhima touched Dhṛtarāṣṭra's feet. And then Dhṛtarāṣṭra became very embarrassed and very sheepish. He realized that he was exposed. So Dhṛtarāṣṭra was like that. Many times we are like that. We say, Prabhuji, you are so nice. You are so good. And then we plot behind that person's back. We speak nice things in front of him, but behind him, what is that? Flattery. Flattery is we speak nice things in front of a person, but we don't speak that behind his back. Right? That is flattery. So many times we speak nice things, but behind him we will not speak. And there are sometimes some people in front of them we will not speak anything, but behind them we speak a lot. So Dhṛtarāṣṭra is a classic example of a duplicitous person who is now exposed, and therefore this verse is very, very important for us to understand that one has to be inside outside congruent. If you see Srila Prabhupada, who established ISKCON, he would, wherever he go, when he never had notes, he just spoke Krishna consciousness. Because what he thought, what he felt, what he spoke, what he did, everything was same. But we have to always carry notes, reminders, because we think one thing, we feel second thing, we speak third thing, we do the fourth thing. So it is very, very tricky. Mind is very tricky. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is teaching us through the first chapter, the first verse, that we have to work on our inner self. Bhagavad Gita is a journey for improving our inner life. It is not to improve your economic situation. Bhagavad Gita is not for earning money. Bhagavad Gita is giving us principles by which you can work on your character. If you are not interested in that, then Bhagavad Gita will be useless. These Bhagavad Gita classes will not help you. If your deep-rooted belief is that the problem is outside, if you are willing to accept that the problem is inside, then you come for Bhagavad Gita class. If you are willing to make a journey inward, then Bhagavad Gita classes are important. But if you are thinking that the problem is outside, other people are responsible for the problems in my life, other people are bad, if that is the mindset, then Bhagavad Gita will not help. This is the most important lesson from the first verse of the Gita. So like this, remember there are 700 shlokas in the Gita. We could spend so much time. So the goal of Bhagavad Gita is, first is, through Dhṛtarāṣṭra we learn that we have to improve our awareness, self-awareness. We have to be aware of my motivations, my desires, my attitude. And then we can help others. Otherwise, we will get exposed. During the Second World War, this is a true story. During the Second World War, the British soldiers were very, very anxious because somebody in their camp was a German spy. And some German soldier had infiltrated into the British ranks. And they were trying to find out who it is. So they made one trap. And in that trap, they closed the door on that suspected person. And that person's fingers got stuck. And as his fingers got stuck, this so-called British soldier immediately started shouting in German language. And that's how they caught him. Because when we are faced with painful situations, what we really think about, what is our deep-rooted thought, that comes out spontaneously. So if we have not cultivated consciously the quality of kindness, if that is not who we actually are, then, like for example, I'll give a simple example. Some years ago, in America, there was a storm, cyclone. And now in America, there are a lot of systems in place. People are apparently cultured, well-behaved, etc. But when the cyclone happened, people went berserk. They started looting shopping malls. They started, the worst of human behavior came out. That means there were two different personalities. Whereas when the same thing happened in Japan, people were seen to be standing in line with lot of discipline, and they followed excellent etiquette. So it was clearly proven that the Japanese were more disciplined actually than the Americans in this particular instance. So what I'm trying to say is, when our social presentation, our social image is not the real self. The real self is who we are. Character and personality are two different things. What is the difference? Personality is what the world thinks about you. And character is who you actually are. You know it. You very well know it. So are we working on our personality or are we working on character? Like, some years ago, Hrithik Roshan was in the news. Hrithik Roshan, he has got this beautiful body and, all these biceps, big body, and the entire article was on how Hrithik Roshan is suffering from very chronic backache, very severe backache, and he has got some problems in his hip muscles and all of that, and he has to go through a lot of surgery and all of that. So then the article discussed in detail why this has happened. Because Hrithik Roshan, he himself admitted that his health was a mess because he would always work on developing his biceps, his chest muscles and all of this, because this is seen in the front. But he did not work on his hip muscles and thighs, calf muscles, lower back, because that is not presented in the magazine cover. So what he did, he worked only on those things that the world can see. But his good health required him to take care of even that part of his body which may not be flashed on the cameras and on the magazine cover. But he ignored it, and that caused a lot of problems later on. Similarly, what we do generally, we work on those areas which is recognized by the world. Like, I may learn good English speaking skills, I may learn presentation skills, I may learn nice things, some poetry, some shairi. The world may glorify me, the world may clap, but I may not work on my chanting, my prayers, because that, even if I chant very nicely whole day and if I pray to Krishna, the world will not come and say, glorify me, oh, today you prayed so nicely. No, prayers and chanting is between me and Krishna. The world will not come and glorify me. World will glorify me if I give them good entertainment. If I entertain them, they will be happy. So if I am only working on entertaining people and learning those things which will help me get worldly glory, then I will ignore chanting and praying, which is actually the foundation, which is like the back muscles and the calf muscles and the hip muscles. Just because the world does not see it, I do not work on it. But that neglected will cause me a lot of problems later on. Do you see the principle that is happening, working here? Many times we work only on those areas which the world recognizes. But the most important part of us is not seen by the world. It is seen by ourselves in our dark moments, in our most solitary moments. We are face to face with our own deep-rooted inner nature. And are we working on that? The building, the Calgary Tower in Canada, a huge structure, but 60% of that building is below the ground. The foundation has to be very strong. If the foundation is not strong, the building will collapse. Similarly, if our foundation is weak, then all the success we get on the outside world will be washed away by the force of time. Like if you see a huge banyan tree, it is huge, but the roots are also expanded below. If the roots don't expand and the tree is only growing from outside, then a small cyclone will come and the tree will be thrown away. Similarly, what are we doing in our life? Are we like Dhṛtarāṣṭra, ignoring the foundation? Or are we like Maharaj Yudhishthira, working on the principles of dharma? Are we going deeper into our own character? And if we do that, if we work on the principles of dharma, if we work on our character, then whenever cyclones like tragedies and challenges attack us in our lives, we will remain grounded. We will be able to face these storms with smile, with gratitude, and with lot of courage. Therefore, it's important that we don't get carried away by the razzle dazzle and glamour of this outside world. Because this world will only glorify those who entertain them, those who make nice jokes, or those who perform, those who keep them happy. But Krishna is not looking at that. God is not looking at that. And in the long run, our relationships and our success in the outside world is dependent on how much we work on our inner self. And that is the message of the first verse of the Gita. We'll also discuss the second verse little later, but I will pause here because we have taken the first verse so much time. If there are any comments or questions on this first verse, we can take now and then we can go ahead. Hare Krishna. You have to unmute and then ask questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Who is this?
Prabhuji, Vineet Dongre here.
Yes, Vineet Dongre ji. Yes, sir. I can see you now. Please.
Prabhuji, my one simple question that as you have mentioned that the character is important and personality is not our goal. But as we are associated with the people, those they are majorly focused on the personality. So we are also looking of the development of the personality, and we give the second priority to the character. So as you mentioned that our focus must be the character, because that's why we are here. But when we are carried away by the outside people or the where we are working, the impact of that, it create that. So how to protect from that and how to focus ourselves on the character building as well as on the our focus on chanting, relationship building with the Krishna. So can you just guide us on this?
You are asking, Vidit Kumar, you are saying that on the one hand, we are discussing on character, but we know that The outside world does not recognize character. They're focusing on personality and we have to deal with them. So we have to work on personality rather than character. That's what you're saying, right? My humble opinion is that in the long run, even in this world, people will trust you if your character is strong. And ultimately, all success is based on trust. Whether you're a shopkeeper, whether you're a multi-billion dollar business entrepreneur, ultimately the trust of your clients, trust of your employees, trust of your family members is what matters. And trust is a combination of both character and competence. Means both personality and character both have to be there. Only then that trust is complete. So I'm not saying ignore your personality. I'm just saying focus, the foundation has to be character. Like for example, let us say you have a very important surgery to be performed and the doctor who is going to perform this surgery is known to be very competent. You are very, very confident about his skills, his personality, his competence. But you come to know that his character is fundamentally flawed. He sells kidneys of his patients. So what will you do? Will you get your surgery done from him? No. I may say he's expert. He's a great surgeon. You will say, no, but his character is bad. Now you may say, okay, I'll go only for character. Very important surgery has to be done. And whom do I trust? Oh, I trust my wife very much. She is very good. Her character is best. So let my wife do my surgery. Can that happen? Her character is great, but she doesn't have competence. So ideally, in this world, to operate in this world, we need a combination of character and competence. Both have to be there. But character is more important if you want that relationship to sustain in the long run. If it is hit and run relationship, if it is one-time cheating business, then you don't need character. But if you're looking for anything sustainable at any level, that any sustainable relationship is based on trust. And trust is based on character. So therefore, does this make sense, Vinit Kumarji, what I'm saying now? So character is most important. That doesn't mean we need personality. We need to have skills. But skills can also be, outsourced many times. But character cannot. Because character is who you are.
Prabhuji, thank you for your answer. But my question was, am I audible? Or
Yeah.
Okay. My question was that generally why we are here, that our first priority is the character and second priority is personality. But when we go to the outside world, that priority get hampered. So my question is how to protect ourselves, that focus on that my first priority is my character and my relation with the Krishna. That is my first priority and it should be remain as it is forever, for all the time.
That can happen if when you are dealing with the outside world, you need to constantly ask what is the goal? Why are you doing what you are doing? If you are working with your office colleagues, you have to ask yourself, why am I doing this job? Because you want to serve Krishna. When you connect with your why, when you connect with your raison d'existence, your purpose of life, then your character is in place. If you do not connect with your why, you will be carried away by the storm. When the plane is flying in the sky, sometimes the storm comes and throws the plane off course. Do you know that more than 70 to 90% of the time the plane is off course? But the pilot brings it back on course. Similarly, when we are dealing with the outside world, it is natural, as you are saying, that you will get distracted. But if you have the goal in mind, then you can bring the plane of your life back on course. So if your goal is clear that I want to serve Krishna, I want to serve God, I want to be a servant of devotees, I want to develop my relationship with God, if this is your goal and if this is clear to you, then even though you are overwhelmed by the external situations of this world, you will have the inner fortitude and resilience to come back on course on time. Imagine the pilot announces when you board the plane that, ladies and gentlemen, we are happy to announce that we are now flying at 1,000 miles an hour, but we do not know where we are going. If the pilot announces like this, will you be happy? No. Therefore, speed is not important. What is important is the direction, where you are going. Similarly, yes, when we are working in this outside world, we will get carried away. We will be overwhelmed by others. Therefore, that is like the storm throwing the plane off course. But our important responsibility is to keep the goal. Like if the plane is going from Mumbai to Delhi, you have to keep focusing on Delhi. And then even if the plane goes here and there, keep coming back on course. Similarly, if you're working on your purpose of life, which is to develop a relationship with the Lord, then that purpose has to be remembered, even though you are many times thrown off course. Some of the best devotees have difficulties in their spiritual life, but their strength is not that they don't have difficulties. They have difficulties, but their ability to bounce back, their bounce back time is very little. Means they fall, but they bounce back fast. So you may be in the outside world working and you may get carried away by the personality issues and the challenges of the external world. But what is your bounce back time? How fast do you come back on course? That is important. If you can do that, then your situation is safe. And then you can remain focused on Krishna consciousness. Does that answer, Vinit Kumarji?
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Anybody else has anything to say?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have one thing to add, that this first two words, dharma-kṣetre, kuru-kṣetre, this I have heard since my childhood, and this has acted in my memory. Why? Because somebody has told me that Kurukṣetra is not only the pilgrimage, a place of pilgrimage, but it is a place where people are doing their action. People are fighting for action. People are doing something for their survival. So he said that similarly in our life, we go on fighting for our own right, for our own, dharma. So he says, Mahabharata is going on in everyday life, and wherever you are working is a Kurukṣetra for you, and it is a dharma-kṣetra. So you work on the principle of dharma wherever you work, because that is a Kurukṣetra for you. That is one I wanted to add. Second thing is, as you said, the duplicity of Dhṛtarāṣṭra is very clear here. But I am not able to understand that not only here, in subsequent places, when Arjuna says to Krishna that I don't want to fight, I don't want to kill my brothers, I don't want to kill my relatives. And then Krishna also reveal his, his universal form. Still, Dhṛtarāṣṭra is not allowing his sons to retreat, to take back. So that means he is not only blind by eyes, he is blind by buddhi also, completely. Because he is not understanding the opposite side, he is not understanding Krishna, even when this revealed to him beforehand. So these 2 points I wanted.
Thank you, Rajiv Gupta ji. Excellent point. Dhṛtarāṣṭra was not blind only physically, Dhṛtarāṣṭra was blind spiritually also. That despite Krishna showing the universal form, despite the Kauravas being humbled by the Pandavas repeatedly, Dhṛtarāṣṭra did not have enough courage to stop his sons from unleashing so much injustice on the Pandavas. So you are correct. That's a very valid point. Thank you for your contribution. Hare Krishna. Any other comments or questions regarding today's discussion?
Can I add something, Prabhu? Radha
Yes,
Sangi Devi Dalji here. Hare Krishna, Dandavat. I just one example came into my mind, which Radharani Mataji often quotes regarding the question Vineet Prabhu had asked. It's like the kabaddi match. So you are, when you go to the opposite side of a kabaddi match, you remain there only till the moment it's required. The more you linger around in the opposite team, you are caught. So we are on Krishna's side, and when we are going to the outside world, it's like you are going into the trap of Maya. So the more we linger there, the more the chances are that you will be caught by Maya, and it will be disastrous. So like kabaddi match, you just go and touch the person and come back to your side. That's the safest way. So this is what I just wanted to add. I mean, when Vineet Prabhu was talking, it just came into my mind, this example.
Thank you, Radha Sanghi Mataji. Beautiful example. This is an example originally given by Radha Gopinath Prabhu about kabaddi match, that we should play kabaddi in this world. We should know our limitation. We should, if we cannot go deep into the material world and handle the issues, come back to your spiritual zone and keep yourself safe. Basically, know your capacity. Know how much you can handle the material energy. Very good point. Thank you, Mataji.
I have one more question to ask.
Yes.
I just want to know, because this happened, Gita was told to Arjuna at the start of the war when both armies were face to face. So how long did it take Gita to take place completely? How long Krishna has to explain? And what the two parties, what the Kauravas was doing during that period?
It is said that the entire Gita was spoken in 1 hour by Krishna to Arjuna. 45 minutes to 1 hour it took. And Bhishma, Duryodhan, Dronacharya, and some of the prominent warriors in the Kuru army, they also heard the Gita. All the 84 crore soldiers may not have been able to hear, but many prominent leaders, warriors from both sides heard the presentation of the Gita by Krishna to Arjuna. This is what the Acharyas, the commentators on the Gita, explain. Yes, Vipul Agarwal, Prabhu, I thought you have raised your hand.
Prabhuji, I have a question. So basically, you have very beautifully described the dichotomy between character and personality, what is outside, which we like to show, and what we are within. So we have to choose what to work on, and many times these are contradictory. So why the difference many times lies in due to our lack of understanding of the value. It's like we are not able to appreciate the value of character over the value of show off or personality. And the classic example is when we try to teach or give value education to our children, we are focused on the personality aspect of the so-called value education. We say that this is how you should behave because this is considered as valuable. And we fail to show them or explain to them or make them understand how it is actually valuable. So to get out of this dichotomy, it is important for us to actually understand till what level personality is important and after what level working on our internal becomes more important, because it's a continuous thing. We cannot just choose character or personality. We cannot give up personality and say, I just want to build up my character. And we cannot say, I just want to build up my personality and don't want to work on the character. So if we understand the true value of both of them, then at every point in time, we will be able to evaluate at which point of time my presentation is important and at what point of time I should let go of my presentation. Character is something which has to be there always. It's like a foundation. So how to understand that value which resolves this doubt forever?
See, most of the things we learn, unfortunately or fortunately, we learn through harsh setbacks in life. There are people who have focused on external achievements so much, but they've experienced a gnawing vacuum in their lives. I'm sure you also know of people who are very successful in the outside world, but they have felt lonely and miserable from within. The classic example is the author of the Vedic scriptures, Vyasadeva himself. although he had achieved unparalleled success, because he was not deeply connected to the Lord, he felt a sense of vacuum and loneliness. So the point is, external success is important because we are living in this world, but we need to honestly take a call individually whether this is giving me deep contentment. See, the difference between character-driven activities and personality-driven activities is, personality-driven activities helps us to make a living. It helps us to earn our livelihood. It helps us to helps us to meet our ends very successfully. Therefore, personality skills are important. But character is a completely different ball game, because character helps us to live in peace with ourselves. It helps us to maintain the sanity of the head, sanctity of the heart, and stability of the mind. So basically, if you want to lead a satisfied and contented life, then the character is what will give you that. Because character focuses on the inner congruence of our value systems, of who we essentially are. So therefore, we cannot separate, we cannot ignore personality, but we need to know their roles, we need to know their importance. And this comes from individual trial and error. Like for example, your samskaras. As a child, if I have been disciplined by my parents to practice certain rituals or certain practices which are essentially focused on character, like if I'm trained to spend quality time in prayers, in service, in community seva, if I'm trained to do that, then when I grow up and I feel lonely or I feel a struggle, I will naturally be inclined to spend my time in these activities which are essentially character centric. But if I have been trained from childhood to take shelter of personality driven, if a personality driven ethos is what has made me, then when I am struggling, I will only take shelter of those activities. Therefore, as a parent, it's important to work on the foundation. We have to give both skills to our children. We have to train them in personality skills, but we also have to give them values. And as they grow up, they will learn to make the choices, provided you have given them good training. So therefore, it all boils down to the act of balance. And as a parent, if you are training your children, you need to give both, but focus essentially on the character, because many situations in life will demand you to navigate yourself. Your child will have to do it on his own. You cannot spoon feed. Like for example, by Bhagavad Gita, how Bhagavad Gita helps in solving our daily problems is, Bhagavad Gita doesn't give practical skills. It focuses on the character. So when a challenging situation comes, what happens is like this. It's like the army training. In the army, in any military academy, all the famous battles are taught to the students. They learn the Napoleonic Wars, they learn about the World Wars, they learn about all battles. But after the military academy training, when the soldier goes to fight the war, he doesn't take his notebook with him. When the terrorists attack, he doesn't say, okay, now let me refer to my notebook. In my second year, I was taught this war, this battle, that is the strategy I will use here. No, he has to improvise on the spot. He has to use his intuition. He has to use his understanding. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita will teach us about human values, about the three modes of nature, about the power of time, about karma, about detachment, about working, about duty, about karma yoga, jnana yoga. Everything will be given. And when we are faced in a particular situation in our lives, how best to navigate, how best to apply what skills, how best to lead a life which will keep us sane and stable, that will be an improvisation in the present moment, in that particular moment of time. Therefore, we have to give skills, we have to work on personality, but that is not a foolproof method, because situations change, challenges change, and the solution and the training that we give our children now may not exactly be applicable later on. But if we give character training, that will help the child discover his or her own tools during a provocative situation later on. So that's how character development works, because that helps the child understand what is important. One of the greatest examples of this is Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl has written a book. It is one of the world's all-time bestsellers. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. Viktor Frankl was a Jewish psychotherapist who was thrown into the concentration camp by the Nazis. And he observed something very amazing, that people were dying every day. They were suffering in the concentration camp. But he was driven by a deep-rooted sense of purpose. That time, no personality skills would come to his help. So he came out with this theory that when we have a higher purpose, we can navigate through crisis in life, because he survived that concentration camp. See, we all know Sigmund Freud. He gave this theory that people are driven by pleasure. He said everybody wants pleasure. Pleasure is the greatest motivation. Then after Sigmund Freud, another psychologist from Vienna, he came, Adler. He said pleasure is not the greatest motivation. There are many people who give up pleasure. What is the greatest motivation is position. If I have position and power, I'm willing to give up pleasure also. And Viktor Frankl proved through his life in the concentration camp, where people had no pleasure, where people had no power and no position, still there were people in the concentration camp who were sharing their one piece of bread, which was given once in 3 days, with other prisoners. There were people who were suffering acutely, but they were going out of their way to help others. So this led Viktor Frankl to think that what is motivating them? It is not pleasure, it is not position, it is not power. Then he realized that it is the fundamental character ethos. It is the sense of purpose, it is the sense of values. So therefore, if we give this to our children, if our children are put up in a situation as they grow up, like a situation of concentration camp type situation, where they are thrown into situations where they have to take decisions at the spur of the moment, they will be inspired to live by universal principles. So therefore, we have to give necessary skills. We have to make them doctors, engineers. We have to teach them personality skills, how to make a presentation, etc., how to be nice, how to have social etiquette, how to talk well, how to have social manners. Excellent. But are we teaching them the fundamental values of humanity? Are we teaching them the role and duties of a soul who is a servant of God? So if we can connect our children to the universal principles, then we will be rest assured that when they are faced with challenges, they will be able to navigate through life with courage and confidence and humility. So this is the way I would like to see this situation.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Vipul Agarwal. So very grateful to all of you for participating in today's Bhagavad Gita class. Today we discussed the first verse of the Gita, and now what will happen is in the next class we will see that from the second verse till the 25th verse. See, there's a lot of verses now where both the armies are being described and Duryodhana's diplomatic nature is revealed. How Duryodhana starts talking to Dronacharya and how he starts arraying his armies. And through this we can see how Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is introduced in the Gita. We will see how the Lord is presented as a servant of his devotee. The main hero of the Gita, of the Mahabharata, Krishna, is presented in the Bhagavad Gita as a servant, as a chariot driver of his devotee. So these are the sections we will discuss next time. And after that, from text number 25 onwards, around that verses, till 46, the end of the first chapter, is the 5 reasons that Arjuna gives for not fighting the war. So we will discuss all the 5 reasons that Arjuna gives in great detail. So these are the basic themes that are coming up in our next class on the Gita Wisdom series. So I want to once again thank all of you for attending today's session. I thank sincerely Abhishek Prabhu, Mohit Prabhu, Vishant Prabhu, and all of you for arranging this class. And I sincerely look forward for your participation. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Hare.
Wonderful.
Prabhu, we have Vipul Prabhu wants to share some closing comments.
Yes, Vipul Prabhu, please.
Guruji, I would like to thank you also on behalf of all the devotees. Thank you for enlightening us on Bhagavad Gita. We have heard Bhagavad Gita first verse so many times, but still there is so much more to learn every time we hear it again and again. This is because of the depth of Bhagavad Gita and also because of the depth of your realizations. So thank you for sharing that with us. I would also like to call upon all the new devotees who are attending this seminar of Vraja Bihari Prabhu for the first time. It would be nice if they can identify themselves by turning on their videos if possible and by raising hands. So we can introduce you to Vraja Bihari Prabhu before we close today's lecture. So we have Ambar Dubey. Are there anyone else? So we would like to welcome you for the first time in this program in our traditional style by loudly chanting Hari Bol. I will invite all the devotees to unmute themselves and welcome Mr. Ambar Dubey to our program by saying
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Mr. Ambar Dubey, thank you very much for joining us. Whenever we are conducting such seminars in future, we will keep you informed. Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Vipul ji. Hare Krishna.